Today we're going to learn another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These expressions are super useful, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these expressions mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Here's how you can get the most out of this video. First, listen while reading the subtitles. This will help you catch every word and follow along more easily. Then, play the video again and try to repeat the sentences out loud, but this time without reading the subtitles. This will really help you improve your pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills. Don't just listen. Pause, reflect, and take notes. That way, you can remember and review them later. This is a great way to boost your listening, reading, and speaking, all at the same time. This lesson is a fun and simple way to improve your English step by step. Before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps a ton, and I really appreciate your support. All right, let's get started with our first expression. Number 1, the last straw. This idiom is something you'll hear when someone is really, really frustrated. It means the final thing that makes you angry or upset after many other annoying things have already happened. Think of it like this. Imagine you're carrying a bunch of straw on your back, and someone keeps adding more and more pieces. Eventually, one tiny piece of straw will be too much and break your back. That's the last straw. I remember when my friend Sarah was telling me about her terrible day at work. First, her computer crashed and she lost an important file. Then her boss gave her extra work to finish by the end of the day. After that, the coffee machine broke, so she couldn't even get her afternoon coffee. But when she got to her car after work and saw a parking ticket on her windshield, she said, "That's the last straw. I'm calling in sick tomorrow." Everything else she could handle, but that parking ticket was just too much. For example, my roommate ate my food again, left dirty dishes in the sink, and played loud music all night. When I found out she used my shampoo this morning, that was the last straw. Here's another one. The restaurant got our order wrong 3 times, the service was slow, and then they charged us extra for something we didn't order. That was the last straw, so we left. People often say, "I can handle a lot, but when my neighbor's dog started barking at 3 a.m. every night, that was the last straw." Have you ever had a situation where small problems kept building up until one tiny thing made you say, "Enough is enough"? Let me know in the comments what was your last straw moment. Number 2, I'm gonna count to 3. This is something parents say all the time, but adults use it with each other too. It means you're giving someone a warning and a chance to do what you want them to do before you take action. Usually, people don't actually count to 3. They're just using it to show they're serious. My mom used this phrase constantly when I was growing up. I remember one time when my little brother wouldn't stop jumping on the couch, even though she told him to stop several times. Finally, she put her hands on her hips, looked at him seriously, and said, "I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2, and before she could say 3, my brother quickly sat down. He knew she meant business. It's like giving someone their last chance to cooperate. For example, kids, if you don't clean up your toys right now, I'm gonna count to 3. You might hear something like, "I'm gonna count to 3, and if you're not ready to leave, we're going without you." Let's take this one. I told my teenagers to turn off the TV and do their homework 3 times already. Now I'm gonna count to 3. This sentence works because it creates urgency and shows you're serious about following through. Do you think you could use this phrase when someone isn't listening to you? Tell me in the comments if you've ever heard parents use this with their children. Number 3, I'm done with you. This phrase is pretty strong and direct. It means you don't want to deal with someone anymore because they've been difficult, annoying, or hurtful. When someone says this, they're basically saying they want to end their relationship or interaction with that person, at least for now. I witnessed this phrase being used when I was at a coffee shop last month. There were two friends sitting at the table next to me, and they were arguing about money. One friend had borrowed money from the other several times and never paid it back. The friend who lent the money was getting more and more frustrated, saying things like, "You promised to pay me back last month, and this always happens with you." Finally, she stood up, grabbed her purse, and said, "You know what? I'm done with you. Don't call me until you can pay me back and start treating our friendship with respect." Then she walked out. It was clear she had reached her limit. For example, my coworker keeps taking credit for my ideas and throwing me under the bus in meetings. I'm done with you. Here's another one. You've canceled our plans 3 times this month without any good reason. I'm done with you. People often say, I tried to help you with your problems, but you never listened to my advice and you keep making the same mistakes. I'm done with you. This phrase is pretty final, so you should only use it when you really mean it. Have you ever felt so frustrated with someone that you wanted to say this? Share your thoughts in the comments. Number 4. Who's up for popcorn? This question is such a friendly, casual way to ask if people want to do something together. Who's up for means who wants to or who would like to. It's a super common way to suggest an activity to a group of people and see who's interested. Last weekend, I was hanging out with my family watching a movie marathon. We had been sitting there for about an hour, and I could tell everyone was getting a little hungry. My dad stretched, looked around at all of us, and said, "Who's up for popcorn?" Everyone immediately said yes, and my sister and I went to the kitchen to make some. It was such a simple way to suggest something that would make our movie night even better. The phrase makes it sound fun and optional, not like you're demanding something. For example, we've been studying for 3 hours straight. Who's up for pizza? You might hear something like, "It's such a beautiful day outside. Who's up for a walk in the park?" Imagine this. "I just found out there's a new ice cream shop down the street. Who's up for trying it out?" I love to use this because it's inclusive and friendly. Instead of making decisions for everyone, you're asking what people want to do. Do you think this phrase could help you sound more natural when making suggestions? Let me know in the comments what you'd be up for doing right now. Number 5. I ended up here. This phrase describes how you arrived at a place or situation, often when it wasn't exactly planned or when the path to get there was unexpected. Ended up means you found yourself somewhere or in some situation, sometimes by chance or after a series of events. My cousin told me a funny story about how she used this phrase. She was supposed to meet her friends at a restaurant downtown for dinner, but she got on the wrong bus and ended up in a completely different part of the city. She was walking around trying to figure out where she was when she discovered this amazing little bookstore that she had never seen before. When she finally called her friends to explain why she was late, she said, "I'm so sorry I'm late, but I ended up here at this incredible bookstore, and I've been browsing for an hour." Sometimes getting lost leads to the best discoveries. For example, I was just planning to buy groceries, but I ended up here at the mall because there was construction blocking the road to the supermarket. Here's another one. I started my career in marketing, but after several job changes and new opportunities, I ended up here working as a teacher, and I love it. Let's take this one. We were driving to the beach, but we took a wrong turn and ended up here at this beautiful lake instead. This phrase is so useful because life is full of unexpected moments and changes. Have you ever ended up somewhere you didn't plan to be? Tell me in the comments about a time when you ended up somewhere surprising. Number 6. Speaking of which. This phrase is like a smooth bridge that connects one topic to a related topic in conversation. When you say, speaking of which, you're about to mention something that relates to what you or someone else just said. It's a natural way to change the subject while keeping the conversation flowing. I use this phrase all the time in my daily conversations. Just yesterday, I was talking to my neighbor about how expensive groceries have become lately. I mentioned that I had to spend $50 just on basic items like bread, milk, and eggs. Then I remembered something and said, "Speaking of which, I need to ask you a favor. Could you pick up some milk for me when you go shopping tomorrow? My car is in the repair shop." It felt so natural to connect those two topics because they were both about grocery shopping. For example, I can't believe how hot it is today. Speaking of which, did you remember to water your plants this morning? You might hear something like, "That movie was really good." Speaking of which, have you seen any other films by that director? People often say, "I love your new haircut." Speaking of which, where do you usually go to get your hair done? This phrase makes your English sound more fluent and natural because it shows you can connect ideas smoothly. Do you think you could try using this phrase in your next English conversation? Let me know in the comments if you've noticed native speakers using this expression. Number 7. It's all taken care of. This phrase means that something has been completely handled or solved, and there's nothing more to worry about. When someone says this, they're reassuring you that a problem or task has been finished successfully. My mom used this phrase in the sweetest way last month. I was stressing out about planning my birthday party because I had so much work to do and didn't have time to organize everything. I was worried about ordering the cake, buying decorations, and cleaning the house. When I called her feeling overwhelmed, she said, "Honey, don't worry about any of that. I already ordered your favorite chocolate cake, bought beautiful decorations, and I'll come over early to help clean. It's all taken care of." I felt such relief hearing those words because I knew my mom had everything under control. For example, don't worry about picking up your prescription from the pharmacy. I already got it for you. It's all taken care of. Here's another one. I know you were concerned about the hotel reservation for our trip, but I called them yesterday and confirmed everything. It's all taken care of. Let's take this one. My car broke down, but I called my mechanic and he's going to fix it tomorrow morning. It's all taken care of. This phrase is so comforting to hear because it means you can stop worrying about something. Have you ever had someone tell you that something was all taken care of? Share in the comments how it made you feel. Number 8. Learn the ropes. This idiom means to learn how to do something new, especially the basic skills and knowledge you need to be successful at a job or activity. When someone is learning the ropes, they're figuring out how things work and getting comfortable with new responsibilities. I remember my first week at my current job. Everything felt so overwhelming and confusing. There were so many computer systems to understand, procedures to follow, and people to meet. My manager, Jennifer, was incredibly patient with me. On my third day, when I apologized for asking so many questions, she smiled and said, "Don't worry at all. Everyone needs time to learn the ropes. You're doing great, and by next month you'll feel much more confident." She was absolutely right. After a few weeks, I understood the workflow, knew where everything was located, and felt comfortable asking for help when I needed it. For example, my daughter just started her first job at the restaurant and she's still learning the ropes, but the other servers are helping her a lot. You might hear something like, "I know the new software seems complicated right now, but once you learn the ropes, it will save you so much time." Imagine this. My son is learning the ropes of driving. He's practicing in parking lots before he drives on real roads. This idiom is perfect for describing any situation where someone is getting familiar with something new. Are you learning the ropes at something right now? Tell me in the comments what new skill or activity you're working on. Number 9, popsicles. It's such a common word, but many English learners might not know it. Popsicles are frozen treats made with fruit juice, sugar, and water on a stick. They're perfect for hot summer days and come in so many different flavors and colors. When I was growing up, popsicles were the highlight of summer. My siblings and I would hear the ice cream truck playing its music from blocks away, and we'd run inside to ask Mom for money. We'd race outside and stand in line with all the other neighborhood kids. I always had trouble choosing between the red cherry popsicles and the orange ones. Sometimes I'd get the ones that had 2 sticks, so I could share with my little sister. Those simple frozen treats created some of my happiest childhood memories. Even now, when it's really hot outside, I still love to buy popsicles from the grocery store. For example, "It's so hot today. Let's make homemade popsicles with fresh strawberries and lemon juice." Here's another one. "The kids were playing outside all afternoon, so I gave them popsicles to help them cool down." People often say, "I bought a box of different flavored popsicles for the summer. Do you want grape or lime?" Popsicles are such a simple pleasure in life, and the word comes up in everyday conversation, especially during summer. Do you have popsicles in your country? What flavors do you like best? Let me know in the comments. Number 10, I was born in October. This is a straightforward sentence that native speakers use when talking about their birthday or birth month. It's basic information, but it's something that comes up naturally in conversations when people are getting to know each other or talking about ages, zodiac signs, or seasonal preferences. I was actually born in October myself, and I love it when people ask me about it because October is such a beautiful month. Last week, I was talking to a new coworker during our lunch break, and she mentioned that her birthday was coming up in September. I said, "Oh, that's exciting. I was born in October, so we're both fall babies." Then we started talking about how much we both love the changing colors of the leaves, pumpkin spice everything, and cooler weather after the hot summer. It's funny how sharing something simple like your birth month can lead to discovering things you have in common with someone. For example, I was born in October, so I've always loved Halloween and autumn decorations. You might hear something like, "My sister and I were both born in October but 3 years apart." Let's take this one. I was born in October, which means I'm a Libra according to astrology. This sentence structure, "I was born in" followed by a month, is something you'll use many times in English conversations. It's basic but important. When were you born? Practice saying, "I was born in" followed by your birth month. Share in the comments what month you were born in. Let's recap what we learned today. We covered 10 different expressions that native English speakers use all the time. We learned about the last straw, which is when you've had enough of something frustrating. We talked about "I'm gonna count to 3, which is a way to give someone a final warning. We explored "I'm done with you," which means you don't want to deal with someone anymore. We discussed "Who's up for popcorn," which is a friendly way to suggest doing something together. We also learned about I ended up here, which describes how you arrived somewhere unexpectedly. We covered speaking of which helps you connect related topics in conversations smoothly. We talked about it's all taken care of, which means everything has been handled successfully. We explored learn the ropes, which means getting familiar with something new. We discussed popsicles, those delicious frozen treats, and finally, I was born in October, which is how you share your birth month. These expressions will help you sound more natural and confident when speaking English. Remember to practice using them in your own conversations, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we all learn. If this video helped you understand these common expressions better, please hit that like button and subscribe for more English lessons. I'll be back tomorrow with 10 more useful idioms, phrases, and sentences that will continue building your English skills. Which of these expressions was your favorite today? Which one do you think you'll try using first? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you and learning about your English journey. Take care and keep practicing your English. Remember, every day you practice, you're getting closer to speaking like a native. See you tomorrow.